Anand, what do you have to say? Because that's not the only thing that she said. She said a couple of other things as well.
Yeah, in the sense, I was just pointing out that people see what they want to see. And for instance, again, many people in India have said almost the same thing she has said. For instance, that my film focuses on the BJP and does not talk about the Congress. But in fact, the entire first part of the film is talking about Pokhran 1, which was done by the Congress. It was done by Indira Gandhi. And the film goes far beyond the scope of India and Pakistan. In fact, the entire thrust of the film is that we've learned this from Big Brother. It's the United States of America that dropped that is the only country in the world that has dropped the atom bomb. And so the critique in the film, if at all, the strongest critique is of the United States. And I found, at least in India where I traveled the most, that the impetus for the pro-nuclear and pro-weaponization lobby comes from the elite. It does not come from the ordinary people. Yes, some of the euphoria in the beginning, you saw ordinary people in the streets, but that was because of what they had been told, not because of what they had experienced. The moment we as anti-nuclear activists went and showed films about Hiroshima and Nagasaki in villages, in slums, in working class areas, they didn't know this is what the bomb does. And once they knew that, they felt it was an immoral bomb.
Let me take the debate forward on this issue of nuclear nationalism, which is the running theme weaving your documentary together.
आपने जो बात कही है ना नेशनलिज्म के हवाले से, आपने एक बीमारी की निशानदेही की है. जहाँ नेशनलिज्म होगी और वो अपने एक इंतहा पे पहुँचेगी तो मुल्कों के दरमियान कशीदगी का फैलना बढ़ना नागुज़ीर है. अब आप यूरोप की मिसाल देखें, वहाँ जर्मनी और फ्रांस के दरमियान खूनरेज़ जंगें होती थी, इतनी जंगें कि जो 30 years war कहलाती है. द पॉपुलेशन ऑफ जर्मनी डिक्रीज फ्रॉम 18 million to 8 million. असल चीज़ ये है कि लोगों को ये सीखने की ज़रूरत है कि वो अपने पड़ोसियों के साथ इंसानों की तरह रहें, कि हम बुनियादी तौर पर इंसान हैं और कि जो तफ़रक़े हैं, जो हम में दराड़े इस वक्त मौजूद हैं, उनकी तारीख़ी वजूहात हैं. और जैसे जैसे हमारी अक़ल व समझ बढ़ती है तो हम इनको फलांग सकते हैं. अब आप ये देखें कि यूरोप जो है वो किस कदर पुरअमन है, कितनी जंगों के गुज़रने के बावजूद. हादसाती तौर पे ये असलहे इस्तेमाल हो सकते हैं. ख़ास तौर पे हिंदुस्तान और पाकिस्तान की बात आप लीजिए तो यहाँ मिसाइल को एक तरफ से दूसरी तरफ जाने में कितना वक्त लगता है? 3 से 5 मिनट.
That is actually the main danger. As far as I'm concerned in the whole debate, the thing that needs not only some serious thinking, but measures that will prevent unintended launches, accidental firing, getting signals wrong. I believe that is something that brought Bajpayee to Lahore on a bus.
I think it's amazing that those who are actually arming themselves to the teeth also want to take credit for the peace. Those who actually are robbing the poor of both countries, and I'm not talking about India and Pakistan alone. This is our situation, so I talk about this at the moment. But any country that diverts all its resources to making weapons of mass destruction, all these kinds of weapons, is robbing its own people, is also terrorizing its own people, is subjecting its own people to the gravest of dangers. As you saw in War and Peace, long before we dropped the bomb on anybody else, people in Jadugoda, the Adivasis, the tribal population, the people are dying of cancers created by the very act of taking uranium out of the earth. And the whole chain of production that goes on. Not to speak of the dangers of having all this fissile material hanging around in the world, which anybody can get hold of at any time. And therefore the whole world becomes more insecure. For me, the ethical position that I take is that I would rather die under a nuclear bomb than be responsible for dropping it on somebody else. Because if I die, it's not my fault, somebody did it. But if I drop it on somebody else, it's my fault. So I take the stand that nuclear weapons are immoral.
Weapons have morality. Are they immoral, amoral, moral weapons?
मुझे तो वही बात सबसे अच्छी लगती है कि जी weapons तो वाकई immoral हैं ये, लेकिन हमें ज़रूरत है.
The fact that nuclear radiation lasts for millions of years, the fact that you, in your patriotic zeal, are willing to make your land radioactive forever, how can you call yourself a patriot? your love for that land, and you don't have any love for the people on that land.
So that's
Not just the land of India, but the land of Pakistan. We all know that if you drop a bomb in India, Pakistanis will also die from the same bomb, not from the retaliation. And the same, I think that this is something that the younger generation really has to rise up against, because this is the product of old boys and their toys. And I think that the people who believe in the future of the world will react strongly against it. And I've seen that in my experience. It's not an accident what happened in the girls' school in Pakistan, and it's not true what Shireen Mazari said about. It's not true what Shireen Mazari said about my not having found the same experience in India. I do find it. Whenever I show the film, I find it, to young people especially, and to the working class. I think again I point out that nuclear nationalism is still something that is created by the elite. It is the need of the elite to be greater than you, bigger than you, because they've solved their food and shelter problems. Nationalism per se is something that I would like people to think about again, because we are talking about man-made, temporary, recent man-made creations, these borders. And I think that we have to start thinking of ourselves as human beings, as world citizens, as people who have a task to protect, to make sure that this world continues.
कश्मीर होगा, पाकिस्तान नहीं होगा, और इस्लामाबाद की छाती पे हिंदुस्तान का झंडा लहराएंगे, and some rhetoric from our side as well. What explains this? Is it unique to the issue of nuclear bomb, or is it unique to nationalism?
तलत साहब, कट्टर लोगों का कहना है, मजहबी तौर पे जो कट्टर हैं इस तरफ भी और हिंदुस्तान में भी, कि ये हमारे दीन का मुतालबा है, उसका तकाज़ा है कि हम बम बनाएं, और फिर बनाकर वो उसकी नुमाइश करते हैं सड़कों पे। अब शुक्र करने की बात है कि इन जैसे अफराद हैं वहाँ पे जो कहते हैं कि ये फजूलियात हैं, जो इनके ख़िलाफ़ जंग लड़ते हैं। और जहाँ तक मैंने सुना है, इनको तो कोर्ट में भी चैलेंज करना पड़ा, क्योंकि ये वॉर एंड पीस वहाँ दिखाने की इजाज़त नहीं थी। इनको शायद सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाना पड़ा, हाई कोर्ट जाना पड़ा। तो इतनी जंगों के बाद, जंगें लड़ने के बाद ये आखिर हिंदुस्तान में अपनी बात मनवा सके।
But that's only one twist on it. Of course, आप मजहबी रंग उसको दे सकते हैं, but again coming back to the original point, nationalism of all sorts will actually own the bomb. Even we know some of the very secular people who own the bomb. So bomb that way probably is not exactly a religious issue.
Now let me say that in order to massacre millions of people on the other side, you have to demonize them. How would you live with yourself if you couldn't claim that the people whom you killed on such a huge scale were some kind of terrible species that had to be eliminated? So whether you give it a religious color, or whether you say we don't like the look of them, or we think they're some kind of subhuman species, you have to make a psychological, you have to create that kind of a psyche in order to be able to contemplate dropping a nuclear bomb on somebody.
Yes.
जी तलत साहब, इसकी तशख़ीस हमें यूँ करनी चाहिए कि एक तरफ तो मजहबी कट्टरपना है, दूसरी तरफ नेशनलिज्म है, और ये दोनों जब मिलते हैं तो इनसे एक बड़ी मौलिक किस्म की कॉम्बिनेशन बनती है।
India and Pakistan, both the elites of these countries are actually learning from Big Brother. The last part of the film is called Song of America, Song of India, and it's a critique of the fact that the Indian elite is trying to imitate Big Brother.
Is peace actually possible? What's your take quickly between India and Pakistan in the current situation?
I think peace is definitely, not just peace is possible, but peace is absolutely imperative.
In my way, I can only make that professional contribution. You do not need so many weapons that people believe that we need, or that we have to have an arms race. Primarily, you only have to ensure the survivability of a very few weapons, and that is all. That gives you the second strike capability.
Unfortunately, even if today you decide that you do not want nukes anymore, the dangers will not cease. These nuclear weapons have already created huge amount of radioactivity. You cannot put them in a rocket and send them out into space. So the kind of fissile material that we have already produced on Earth is going to stay with us. We are in the act of creating more and more such material, and therefore we are sacrificing future generations. I don't understand how we can sit anywhere and talk about we are protecting somebody else. We are actually endangering the entire species.
बमों को ख़त्म करना आसान नहीं है, ایک بڑے خاص پروسیس سے گزرنا پڑتا ہے. ان کا جو فسائل مٹیریل ہے پلوٹونیم خاص طور پہ, اس کو آپ یوں ضائع نہیں کر سکتے اس واسطے کہ وہ پھر بھی خطرے کا باعث رہتا ہے.
بموں کو ختم کرنا یقیناً مشکل پروسیس ہے, لیکن اچھی ڈسکشن کو ختم کرنا بھی اتنا ہی مشکل پروسیس ہے. انفارچونیٹلی آئی ہیو ٹو ریپ اپ دا ڈسکشن ہیئر. ناظرین, اس کے ساتھ طلعت حسین کو اجازت دیجیے. اللہ حافظ.